The shrill ring of my phone jolted me awake. I fumbled to grab it off the nightstand, squinting at the bright screen. A voicemail from Elise. I sighed, hesitating before tapping play. "Arden, it's me," her voice chirped through the speaker. "Sorry for the late call, but something's come up. I know you and Finn are away this week, but I'm hoping you can help me out. See, I just got offered this huge promotion at work, but they need me to fly overseas, like, tomorrow. It's so last minute, I know, but it's an amazing opportunity. Anyway, the problem is what to do with Harper. She can't miss that much school." I gripped the phone tighter, a knot forming in my stomach. Elise's rambling continued. "So I was hoping you guys could watch her? I know it's an inconvenience, but I already dropped her off at your place, and my flight leaves in." "Damn it, Elise," I shouted, cutting off the message. I bolted upright, heart hammering. This couldn't be happening. Finn stirred beside me. "What's going on?" he mumbled. "It's your sister. She left Harper at our house in California." "What?" Finn sat straight up. "But we're not even home. We're in New York." I jumped out of bed, rage and panic warring inside me. "I know, she claims it's for some last-minute work trip, and just assumed we'd be there for Harper." I began pacing, running my hands through my hair. Finn cursed, his face etched with anger. "I can't believe her. This is a new low, even for Elise." He grabbed his phone. "I'm calling her right now to deal with this." I continued my frantic pacing as Finn dialed Elise. Voicemail. He left a terse, furious message demanding she call back immediately and explain herself. Hanging up, Finn hastily searched travel sites on his phone. "Let me see if we can get a flight out tonight." I sank onto the edge of the bed, head in my hands. Elise's endless drama was always straining our relationship, but this, abandoning her own daughter without warning, was unforgivable. We'd given her chance after chance, yet she remained completely unreliable. Finn tossed his phone aside in frustration. "No flights available until tomorrow morning at the earliest." He came over and knelt before me, taking my hands in his. "We'll figure this out, okay? Let's call your parents first. Maybe they can drive to the house and check on Harper." I took a deep breath, trying to rein in my emotions and think clearly. Finn was right. We had to stay calm and handle this responsibly, unlike Elise. We quickly conferenced in my parents who, though shocked, immediately agreed to check on Harper, promising to call us the moment they arrived. I felt a small measure of relief knowing she wouldn't be alone all night. Finn called Elise again, but it went straight to voicemail. "God, she's so unbelievably selfish," he fumed, hurling his phone onto the bed. "A promotion? Yeah, right. She probably just wanted a vacation with her dirtbag boyfriend du jour." I shook my head bitterly. Why are we always cleaning up her mess? She treats us like a safety net, using Harper as leverage whenever she feels like it. Finn sighed heavily. "Because she's family. But this is the last straw, Arden. We have to confront her when we get back. No more second chances." A fierce protectiveness welled up inside me. Harper was an innocent child, not a pawn for Elise's games. "You're absolutely right," I said firmly. "It's time to take a stand for that little girl's sake." We stayed up waiting for my parents to call, ready to book the first flight out if Harper was in any danger. Around 2 a.m. my phone finally rang. Harper was safe. And thanks to Elise's latest stunt, nothing would ever be the same again. The moment our plane touched down in Los Angeles, I called my parents again. "How's Harper?" I asked urgently. "She's fine, sweetheart," Mom assured me. "We've been staying at your place to keep an eye on her. The poor thing is confused about where her mom is, but we're keeping her busy." I let out a shaky breath. "Thank you so much. We'll be there soon." As we sped towards home, fury coursed through me. Elise had left us panicked voicemails trying to justify her actions, but she refused to cut her trip short. Always the same excuses, opportunities she just couldn't pass up, assurances that we could handle Harper for a few days. Well, not this time. When we arrived, Harper came barreling into my arms. "Auntie Arden," she cried. At 6 years old, she couldn't understand her mother's callous neglect. I hugged her tight. "I missed you, sweetie. Are you being good for Grandma and Grandpa?" She nodded. My heart ached, thinking of how Elise kept uprooting this innocent child's life. Finn's face was stoic, but his jaw clenched with quiet fury. The lies had to end. We sat Harper down with some toys and turned to my parents. "Did Elise mention where this supposed business trip was?" I asked. Mom shook her head. She just said it was a huge opportunity overseas, and she'd be gone for at least a week. Bullshit, Finn spat. This is Cabo all over again. I cringed, the memory still fresh. The time Elise begged us to take Harper for a week, lying about a work conference in order to vacation in Mexico with her loser boyfriend. I can't believe we trusted her again after that, Finn fumed, pacing the room. She takes advantage of our goodwill all while neglecting her own daughter. His voice rose with rage. Shh, keep your voice down, I urged gently. I knew he was upset, so was I. But we had to shield Harper from even more trauma. Finn took a deep breath, lowering his voice. You're right, I'm sorry, but we can't let her keep playing us like this. I turned to my mom. Can you watch Harper for a bit? We need to talk. She agreed readily, always willing to help in any way she could. Finn and I retreated to the back patio, the late afternoon sun hanging low in the sky. I clasped his hands in mine. We have to tell Elise we can't do this anymore. No more surprise drop-offs, no more taking advantage of us. Finn nodded. I know, but she's still my sister. I hate feeling like I have to protect Harper from her. He swallowed hard. Let's be strategic, I said gently. We'll gather evidence of all the times Elise has flaked out on parenting duties. Testimonies from the neighbors, maybe. That way she can't manipulate the truth. You're right, Finn agreed. It's time for some tough love. Whatever we have to do to ensure Harper's safety. He pulled me close. Together, we could withstand Elise's deceit. As we held each other, I heard Harper's innocent giggles floating through the window, where my mom was playing dolls with her. That beautiful child deserved so much better, and we would make sure she got it. The next morning, I rose early, determination coursing through me. Today we would start gathering evidence against Elise. I shook Finn awake. Come on, let's get Harper ready for school. We can talk to her teacher while we're there. Finn rubbed his eyes and sat up. Good idea. Her teacher must have noticed Elise missing parent-teacher conferences or picking Harper up late. Soon we were bundling a sleepy Harper into the car. At school drop-off, her teacher, Mrs. Davis, greeted us in surprise. Mr. and Mrs. Cole, I wasn't expecting to see you this week. I plastered on a smile. Just helping out while Elise is away. Could we have a quick word with you? Of course. Is everything all right? Mrs. Davis asked. Finn's jaw tightened. Actually, we're concerned about Elise's involvement lately. Mrs. Davis nodded somberly. I see. Well, Elise has missed quite a few school events and conferences recently, and more than once, Harper's had to stay late until we could contact Elise to pick her up. Anger flashed through me. How could Elise keep abandoning her child? I took a deep breath. Thank you for letting us know. We want to do whatever we can to provide stability for Harper. I understand, Mrs. Davis said gently. She jotted down her cell number. Please feel free to call if you ever need someone to vouch for Harper's best interests. As we left the school, I turned to Finn. We need more evidence. Let's talk to the neighbors, too. We spent the next few hours going door to door on our street, asking our neighbors about any incidents that could document Elise's negligence. The testimonies piled up. Multiple neighbors had helped get spare keys to let Harper into the empty house after school. Others recounted picking her up when Elise forgot. It was painful to hear, but it gave us concrete proof of the truth. By the time we returned home, we felt emotionally drained but determined. I started compiling our findings into a document. Look at this, I said, showing Finn my phone. Elise just posted photos from some resort pool, so much for a work trip. Finn's expression hardened as he scanned through Elise's bikini-clad photos, obviously snapped by her latest dirtbag boyfriend. Unbelievable, he muttered. She doesn't even try to hide her lies anymore. I gently turned his face towards mine. It's okay. Now we have undeniable evidence to stand up to her. Finn closed his eyes and exhaled. You're right. I just hate that it's come to this. I know. I hugged him, wishing I could take away this pain. But staying silent won't help Harper. We have to fight for her now. Finn hugged me back tightly. In that moment, any lingering hesitation evaporated. Harper deserved the world, and we would move mountains to give it to her. Later that evening, after Harper was tucked into bed, Finn and I finalized our document. Testimonies from concerned neighbors, teachers, and family members. Records of Elise's missed parenting duties. Screenshots of her lounging happily on vacation. When she returned, there would be no more lies. No more letting her tear our family apart. I reached for Finn's hand, interlacing our fingers. It's time. He brought my hand to his lips. We've got this. The next day, our showdown with Elise would begin. But tonight, I took comfort in the fact that we had the truth on our side. The day of Elise's return arrived. Finn and I both took the day off work, awaiting her arrival. Around noon, I was fixing lunch for Harper when the doorbell rang. Before I could react, Harper had already scampered to answer it. "Mommy!" she cried joyfully. My stomach dropped. I hurried to the foyer, where Elise was crouching to hug Harper. Laden with shopping bags from her trip, she gave me a breezy smile. "Hey sis, thanks again for watching." "Save it," I said sharply, crossing my arms. "We need to talk, now." Elise's smile faded, eyes narrowing. "What's your problem?" I jerked my head towards the kitchen. "Finn's waiting. Let's go." Confused, Elise followed me to the kitchen where Finn sat stone-faced. I asked my mom to take Harper upstairs. Time for the truth. Elise glanced between us warily. "Okay, what's going on?" "Cut the act," Finn said coldly. "We know you weren't on a work trip. More lies so you could take off with your latest deadbeat boyfriend." Elise scoffed. "What? That's crazy." I slapped down the documented evidence on the counter. "Explain this then." Elise's eyes widened as she flicked through the pages. Neighbor testimonies of Harper being abandoned, school reports of Elise's negligence, her vacation photos. How could you ambush me like this?" she stammered. Finn stood up, hands clenching into fists. "Don't play the victim. You left Harper alone without warning, just to vacation in Cabo." "It was a work thing," Elise retorted, but the lie was obvious. "We're done enabling this," I said sharply. "You can't keep using your daughter as a pawn." Elise crossed her arms defiantly. "So I took some me time. So what? You guys stepped up with Harper." Finn looked ready to explode. "Because we care about your daughter, unlike you." "Whatever," Elise huffed. "I'm back now, so she's fine. Don't be so dramatic." I slammed my hands on the counter. "Enough! Harper could have been in real danger because of your selfishness. We won't let this continue." I held Elise's resentful stare, refusing to back down. A tense silence fell over the kitchen. Eventually, Elise just snatched her documents off the counter. "I don't have to explain myself to you," she hissed. "Don't act so high and mighty." With that, she stormed out, letting the front door slam behind her. I let out a shaky breath. The confrontation was draining, but we stood our ground. Finn pulled me into a hug. "It's not over yet," he murmured into my hair. I nodded against his chest. The ultimate showdown was still ahead. Upstairs, we joined Harper and my mom, coloring together on the floor. Harper's smile when she saw us enter the room reinforced my resolve. I met Finn's eyes. No more abandoning this child. Elise's deceit stopped here. That weekend, Finn and I sat down to finalize our plan for the ultimate showdown with Elise. "We need to do this publicly, so she can't twist the truth," I said. Finn nodded. "At the family barbecue this Sunday, we'll lay everything on the table in front of the whole family." My stomach twisted nervously, but I knew it had to be done. Elise had been getting away with her selfishness and lies for too long. We spent the next few days gathering ammunition and rallying family members to our side. My parents wholeheartedly agreed to back us up. Finn's Aunt Sandra recounted more troubling memories of Elise shirking parenting duties. His cousin James, who often helped care for Harper, provided a written testimony. By Saturday, our case against Elise was airtight. Now we had to convince Harper's deadbeat father, Mike, to join our cause. Finn and I drove to his place, documents in hand. Mike shook his head in disgust as he flicked through the evidence. "I can't believe this," he muttered bitterly. "Bad enough she kept me from my kid, now she can't even be bothered to care for her." I squeezed Finn's arm, signaling him to make our request. He cleared his throat. "That's why we want to ask for full custody of Harper, but we need your support." Mike looked up at us, hope glinting in his eyes. "You'd really do that?" "Harper deserves so much better than Elise," I said fiercely. "If you help us, we can finally provide her with the stable home she needs." Mike ran a hand over his face. "I should have stepped up long ago. I know that. But I'll do whatever it takes to help now." He grasped Finn's shoulder. "You can count on me." We left Mike's with renewed vigor, everything in place for the next day. On Sunday, the smell of roasting burgers and chatter of family filled the backyard as the barbecue commenced. Laughter rang out from where Harper played on the swing set, the calm before the storm. Once everyone had food and were settled at the picnic tables, Finn tapped his glass loudly to get their attention. "Thank you all for being here today," he began. "Before we continue, Arden and I have an important announcement." I rose, steeling my nerves. Elise sat looking bored and sullen. Mike gave us an encouraging nod. It was time. I launched into our presentation, the documented timeline of Elise's negligence, testimonies from teachers, neighbors, and family. Gasps and angry exclamations sounded as the scope of her deception was laid bare. Elise jumped to her feet, clearly panicked. "How dare you ambush me like this again?" she yelled. "I love Harper. I just needed some time to myself." Mike stood up now, face like stone. "Save it, Elise. You don't deserve Harper, and we're going to make sure she has a real home now." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Outraged and vindicated, I continued. "That's why Finn and I are petitioning for full custody of Harper, with Mike's support." The color drained from Elise's face. "You can't do that." Finn stepped forward. "Yes, we can. This charade ends today." The backyard erupted. Family members bellowed recriminations against a cowering Elise. Years of pent-up resentment and anger finally spilled forth. I almost pitied her panicked expression. Almost. When the commotion finally died down, Elise sat silent and defeated. The web of deception had unraveled. I surveyed the scene, Mike looking hopeful, family and friends unified in their support. Out of the darkness, we had forged a coalition. Finn wrapped an arm around my shoulders. We had cleared the biggest hurdle. Now, Harper's future shone brightly ahead. 2 weeks later, we sat before a judge, formalizing our custody petition. Elise had tried desperately to block us, but the mountain of evidence made her protests futile. Justice would finally be served. Due to the documented history of neglect, I'm granting joint legal and physical custody to Mr. and Mrs. Cole and Mr. Wilson, the judge declared. Pending supervision by social services, they may take over guardianship next week. I clutched Finn's hand tightly as relief washed over us. Elise shot us a look of pure venom, storming out of the courtroom. One final confrontation remained. That weekend, we invited the whole family over to celebrate. Harper spun gleefully around the living room in her new dress as relatives fussed over her. Even Mike was there, embracing a second chance with his daughter. I was doling out slices of cake when the front door banged open. Elise stood seething in the entryway. "How could you throw a party when you're stealing my daughter away?" she shouted. The room went silent. Finn stormed over to Elise, body rigid with fury. "We are giving your daughter the life you never could, and now you can't manipulate anyone, so get out." Elise tried to push past him into the house. "I'm not leaving without Harper." Mike rushed forward, blocking her path. "You'll never hurt her again," he growled through gritted teeth. Elise's eyes blazed with rage. "She's my daughter, my rules." Her voice rang out shrill and unhinged. The terrified look on Harper's face was the last straw. I stepped forward, a protective instinct coursing through me. "Your cruelty ends now." I shouted loud enough to make Elise flinch. "For so long we made excuses for you because you're family, but you failed as a mother." I stepped closer, channeling months of pain and frustration into my words. "You abandoned your child again and again. Your selfishness could have seriously harmed Harper. Well, we are her family too, and we will never let you hurt her again." Murmurs of agreement rose up behind me. Elise looked around frantically, but no one would meet her eye. She had no allies here now. "Give it up, Elise," Mike said. "It's over." For a moment, Elise's haughty mask cracked, revealing something fragile and desperate underneath. But just as quickly, her face twisted into a snarl. "You'll regret this," she hissed, backing towards the door. "Harper is my blood. She belongs to me." And with that, she fled into the night, away from the ruins of her severed family ties, away from the daughter she had so callously abandoned time and time again. Finn's shoulders sagged in relief, and he pulled me into an embrace. "It's done," he murmured. Around us, joyful chatter resumed as months of tension finally abated. I met Harper's eyes across the room. She gave me a smile so full of love it brought tears to my eyes. No more uncertainty and heartache awaited her. She was finally safe. In the weeks after the custody hearing, things began to settle into a new normal. With Elise devoid of allies, we focused on giving Harper the stable home she always deserved. Finn converted the spare bedroom into her own space, filled with toys, books, and art supplies. Mike came over several evenings a week for dinner and took Harper out on weekends, and I looked forward to coming home every day to her smiles and laughter. One Saturday morning, Finn, Mike, and I took Harper to the zoo. We bought her stuffed animals and souvenirs, letting her bubbly excitement guide us from exhibit to exhibit. As we watched the sea lion's antics, Mike turned to us. "I can't thank you enough for this. Getting to really be Harper's dad now, it means everything." Finn clapped him on the shoulder. "We're just happy she'll have a real family." Later at home, Harper was proudly showing me her new treasures when the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Garrett, Elise's latest ex, shifting awkwardly on the steps. "Hey Arden, got a minute?" he asked. My stomach nodded anxiously, but I stepped outside. "What do you want?" I asked stiffly. Garrett rubbed his neck. "I just came to apologize for believing Elise's lies and not seeing how she really was. I should have paid more attention to Harper's well-being." My expression softened slightly, surprised by his sincerity. "I appreciate you saying that, but Harper is our priority now." He nodded. "You're giving her the life she deserves. I guess I just wanted you to know I never would have stayed with Elise if I'd realized." He trailed off. I studied him for a moment. "Thank you, Garrett. I'm glad her manipulation didn't fool everyone." We shared a sad, knowing look. No one could escape Elise's web unscathed. I said goodbye, hoping he would find some peace. Inside, I mulled over the conversation. If even her boyfriend finally saw through Elise's facade, perhaps there was hope she'd change one day. A few mornings later, Finn's ringtone startled me awake. He fumbled for his phone, squinting against the glare. "It's Elise," he muttered. My body tensed as he answered. "What do you want?" he asked bluntly. Her shrill cries burst through the speaker. "You ruined my life. Garrett left me because of your lies. I have nothing now thanks to you." I grabbed the phone, anger flaring inside me. "You have no one to blame but yourself, Elise, but you could change if you tried." "Shut up," she shrieked hysterically. "I wish I never had Harper so I didn't have to deal with you." The words hung heavy in the silence. Finn's face paled with anguish. "Don't ever contact us again," I said icily before disconnecting. Finn sat unmoving, staring at nothing. I wrapped my arms around him, tears stinging my eyes. She had inflicted wounds no custody ruling could heal. Leaning into me, Finn let out a shuddering breath. "You were right," he said hoarsely. "She won't change." I wanted to believe. He trailed off, holding me tighter. I stroked his hair, wishing I could absorb this pain. But he was right. Elise had made her choice. Now, we had to protect Harper from ever knowing that venom. In the other room, Harper slept peacefully, enveloped in love. Gazing at Finn, I knew our family would endure and grow stronger. Elise's darkness would not prevail. The rest of that day, we showered Harper with affection, playing games, reading stories, filling her world with light, and not once did Elise's shadow darken our door. Over the next few months, our lives settled into a comfortable rhythm. With Elise absent, Harper thrived under the constancy of our care and Mike's devoted fatherhood. Having her around brought Finn and I closer as well. Our marriage grew stronger, building a home around Harper's needs. Watching her joy and imagination flourish was the most beautiful blessing. One Saturday, we invited Mike and Sandra over for a celebratory brunch. Harper chattered excitedly, sprinkling chocolate chips into pancake batter. Mike helped her stir, grinning ear to ear. "These look awesome, kiddo." Harper beamed up at him. "I love cooking together, Daddy." My heart swelled at the natural sweetness between them. Sandra squeezed my arm, smiling through tears. After so much heartbreak, redemption emerged. Later, lounging contently with full bellies, Mike raised his coffee mug. "I'd like to make a toast," he announced. All eyes turned to him. "Months ago, I was ready to give up on ever being in Harper's life." He smiled tenderly at her. "But you folks opened your home and hearts, giving me a second chance to really be her father." Sandra patted his shoulder, sniffling. Mike turned back to us. "You gave my little girl the loving family she deserves. I'll be forever grateful for that." Finn wrapped an arm around me, emotion shimmering in his eyes. It was our honor. Harper is the most precious gift in our lives now. Harper crawled into Mike's lap. "I love you, Daddy," she murmured, nestling against his chest. "I love you too, baby girl, always." Mike hugged her gently, tears glistening on his cheeks. In that perfect moment, our family felt complete. The next day, Finn and I finalized Harper's adoption, declaring us her legal guardians. The judge smiled warmly as she stamped the certificate. "With such a loving home, I know this child will thrive," she said. "Congratulations." Driving home, Finn and I could barely contain our joy. We stopped to pick up a cake, party hats, and presents. That evening, we gathered in the backyard, illuminated by string lights. I crouched down to Harper's level, taking her small hands in mine. "You are officially part of our family now," I declared. Her answering smile outshone the stars. Laughing, she threw her arms around me. "This is the best day ever." As we celebrated late into the night, a sense of rightness settled over everything. Despite the painful road that brought us here, Harper was exactly where she belonged. With cake smeared on her face, she fell asleep snuggled between Finn and I. Gazing at her peaceful slumber, I knew Elise's darkness no longer held sway. Love prevailed in these walls now. Safety and joy filled the rooms where neglect once lurked. The past could not haunt us anymore. Kissing Harper's forehead, I whispered a silent promise. We would nurture her creativity, her courage, her boundless heart. She was our daughter now, the completion of our family's love. The next morning, buttery light filtered through the curtains. In her room down the hall, Harper still slept, surrounded by all the toys and books that overflowed with our love. This was her sanctuary now. Whatever the future held, she would face it, knowing one unshakable truth. She was cherished. She was home. And in this house, her childhood would thrive untarnished.